Hello Wonderland, Kelly here. We are on the road today. So I think if you watch my channel much, you know that I live in the Richmond, Virginia area. But my day job is actually down in Orlando, Florida. So I work remotely most of the time from home, which is nice. But a few times a year, I get to go back to the office for some FaceTime and in-person meetings, and to enjoy my perks of employment, that kind of thing, and to see friends and family since we moved from Orlando to Virginia. So I'm on one of those trips. Sometimes I fly, sometimes I drive. Today I'm driving. So I started out at home, left home at 6 o'clock this morning. By the end of the day, I hopefully will be down in Orlando. But in the meantime, in the middle, I got a couple stops. Don't want to spend too much time because it's a long drive and I don't want to get there too late. But right now, I am somewhere in North Carolina. I've stopped at Raven Rock State Park for a little 2.5 mile loop trail leg stretcher. And we'll see what we see. My rule of thumb when I'm going to a new park, and I've never been to this one before, certainly, is to check out the namesake of the park, because that's why they built it there, right? So yeah, the Raven Rock loop trail that I'm on right now takes me to Raven Rock and an overlook of the river. And I believe the river here is the Cape Fear River, which is kind of a creepy name, right? There was a movie that I don't think I ever saw. Anyway, I'm hearing some birds. I think they're thrushes. I'll pull out Merlin and check, but yeah, I'm just ready to shoot whatever presents itself. Let's do it. Pretty here. And the parking lot was really busy. It's a Tuesday morning, fairly early. Didn't expect many people to be here, but yeah, parking lot was crowded, but they're not on this trail, which is okay with me. Keep hearing those birds. Merlin says they're not thrushes, they're pine warblers, which makes a lot of sense because I'm in a pine forest. There's some close. I gotta see if I can shoot one. I took a little spur trail off of the main loop called the Fish Traps, which seems to take me to the river. And this is kind of neat. It went from those stairs behind me. Now I'm on rock. And I hear the river ahead. I'm starting to glimpse it through the trees. So I was curious what they mean by fish traps. Sometimes that means holes that have formed in the rock over time. So I'm hoping that's what it is. Working my way down. Yes, indeed. These rocks here in the river, holes form in them as water flows over time. So you kind of see in the distance there, there's holes. And there's also this nice little cascade. I think I can make my way down there and give that a closer look. Let's see. That warmed me up. So downhill getting to the river there, and then of course an uphill to get back. Whew. Most of this trail is pretty flat though, which is good. It's just I guess the gorge that the river itself cuts through goes down. There's a waterfall called Raven Rock Falls in North Carolina, which had me excited for a minute when I was planning this trip, but it's actually over on the west side of the state. I'm in the east side, so different Raven Rock, clearly. All right, so I'm about to rejoin the Raven Rock Loop Trail. And then we'll keep going and see the Raven Rock. cool. Uh-oh, steep slopes. We're coming up to an overlook. And you know, I like for us to see these things together for the first time. As I hear a wren in the woods. Smells like somebody's been smoking the wacky weed here. Not surprising. Not a bad view. Of course, I picked the worst day to be here, probably. It's a dreary day in late winter. I imagine this is a lot prettier when everything's green and flowering, or even snowy, but I don't have that either, so there we are. Now, I see some birds flitting about over here, and they've been eluding me so far, so I'm going to hang out for just a minute and see if I can coax them any closer. Let's see. The birds are really giving me a hard time here. I hear lots of them. I see some now and then, but they all stay too far away or down in the underbrush. I can't get a clear shot on any of them. I don't think there's anything too unusual anyways. Pine warblers would be nice. Just saw some titmice. I'm hearing woodpeckers. Pretty similar to what I get at home, so if there was something special here, that I would definitely be looking for. All right, overlook was nice though. Now we're on to Raven Rock itself. Hopefully. I assume I'll know it when I see it. Okay, I was getting a little worried that I had missed the rock somehow. I don't think that's possible though. So, flip around. Going down these stairs, there was a sign back there that said, "Danger Cliff, steep slopes." And I said, okay, but my name's not Cliff. But anyway, thanks for coming out tonight, folks. Oh yeah, okay. I saw a picture of these stairs coming up here. That looked pretty nice. So let's get a look together. Very nice. I think I'm hearing people. Oh yeah, okay. Keeps on going down there for a while. If this had water flowing down, that would be nice. So there's a cliff. So I guess Raven Rock maybe is, you know, the prominence of rock that I was on. And you get down there and walk along the side of it. So yeah, let's do that. Very exciting. Okay, I've got the 10-20 with me and on the R5. And this is what I'm looking at. I'm going down these stairs. And they're pretty cool. I'm about halfway, maybe a little more than halfway, but they go way up there. So I want to get a shot of that. And the cliff over there, I kind of like that. So if I can get a good angle where I've got stairs, the cliff, the stairs up there, maybe a little bit of sky, I think that'll be good. I'm going to put you down over here. Make sure you see my face. Okay, now, little lesson on the ultra wide. So I'm at 10 millimeters. Put this behind me. So my field of view is about 180 degrees on this. I can see my hand out here. Yeah, and that's pretty close to the front. So, okay. The thing to do though, if I point up or down too much, I'm going to distort my verticals. I don't know what bird that was. Okay. So you want to use your auto level, if you've got one in your camera. This does, of course, to try to be as close to level, both horizontally and tilt as you can, to keep your verticals good. So I'm going to expose a little bit towards the sky. I want my initial exposure to be underexposed a little bit. So I'm going to lock that by holding my shutter button at half press. Okay, then I'm composing, and I'm leveling, and I'm shooting. And that's, I'm doing HDR because I'm getting sky, and this is fairly dark down in here. So yeah, that's why I want my initial exposure to be underexposed a little bit. I'm going portrait. Again, level and level. And shoot. And hopefully that'll be cool. Okay, I've reached the bottom of the stairs behind me here. Let me flip around for you. It's starting to rain a little bit. Hopefully that doesn't get much worse, but this is kind of neat with the stairs going up. So I'll get a couple shots here with that. And here they are. So this is Raven Rock. And there's loud people. Yeah, very neat. And the stairs I came up are over there, or down. Let's scooch around into the crevice here. Yeah, really neat. That looks like a good picture. Like that. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this gnarly tree growing right under here. It's really neat. It's tough to find a good angle on it, especially with the ultra wide. So what I'm going to do is sometimes the ultra wide kind of defeats your purpose. I'm trying to capture this whole big scene, but there's almost too much to get close as you need to be with the ultra wide. So I'm going to switch to, I've got the 24 to 105. I'm going to switch to that and back up a bit and see if I can elevate a little bit maybe. So I want to get kind of more level up on the tree, but with the cliff in the back and the roots at the bottom. So see if we can find that composition. Okay, so I got the 24 to 105. This is what I want to shoot. Hopefully you're seeing that. This is about all the elevation I'm going to get, unfortunately, but it helps a little. I'm kind of eye level with where the trunk and the roots come together, and that's not too bad. So with the 24 to 105, I'm going to zoom in just a little, if I can even stay standing up here. I want to be back. Don't lose me. There we go. All right. It's a little squishy. My tree here. Firm footing is important. All right, there we go. So I'm zoomed to, call it 40 millimeters. Again, I'm still shooting HDR just in case. I'm metering over towards the sky, focusing on the roots. I'm at f8 right now. Leveling. Shoot. All right, chimp that a little bit. Not too shabby. I kind of like that. And I'll compare, I'll show you what I got up close with the 10 to 20, so you can compare and see that that's not always the tool for the job. All right, I'm going to get one at 24 here. Again, metering over towards the sky. And I'm kind of shooting up, which is still going to give me a little bit of distortion in terms of framing. Might be able to fix that in post with the vertical control, but maybe not. All right, now I'm going to get one because the cliff kind of keeps going around behind the tree a little bit. So I want one where I've got cliff, tree, and cliff behind it without much sky. So we've talked about that before. It's not always ideal to include sky in your photo. I'm getting a little bit on the far right, but that's not too bad. All right. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. Okay. And maybe I can do something with the sky. In fact, what I'm going to do is step over here a little bit. I'm losing my elevation, but if I can get even less sky, that would be good. right, that looks pretty decent. Cool. Let's see what we got. All right, now I think the trail goes along the side of the rock for a bit. So maybe I'll get a few more shots there, but now I'm trying to hurry it up a little bit because I'm getting hungry and lunch is about an hour away once I get back to the car. So yeah. Okay, see if we get any more up here. Whew. Yeah, had to come back up the stairs and then the loop continues up here. But that was excellent. And in fact, I want to go off trail here a little bit, see if I can find a better angle on the stairs themselves, because that's a neat feature of the park. Huh. Yeah, I think this will work. Flip around. So the stairs start there. Keep going way down there. Whew, and I switched back to the 10 to 20, so let's see what we get. Impressive. All right. I see why Raven Roost. I keep wanting to call it Raven Roost because that's my favorite overlook to stop at along the Blue Ridge Parkway. Raven Rock. Raven Rock is worth building a park around. Very nice. Now, back to the loop trail, back to the car, off to lunch. But while I'm walking and talking, I think I've tried to articulate this before, but let me try it again. So when I do shoot HDR brackets, I do 0, -2, +2. And that should give me, the idea there, your neutral exposure should be the base. That should be pretty close to accurate. Your -2 should bring the sky, or whatever's bright, typically the sky, should bring that down to where you can recover it. And the +2 should lift the shadows to where you can fill in that detail. Not super necessary with today's modern cameras and sensors that have excellent dynamic range to begin with. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I shouldn't be doing this right now. But yeah, I do it just in case sometimes. Hold on, where was I? But when you're shooting that HDR bracket, what I try to do typically is underexpose my neutral shot, the first shot. Not by a lot, maybe by a stop. And the idea there is you can recover underexposed shadows a lot easier. I'm looking for the parking, okay. Yeah, you can recover underexposed shadows a lot easier than you can recover blown highlights, because you can't recover blown highlights at all. So what that does, if I underexpose my first shot, my neutral exposure, that makes both of the next two shots a little darker, right? So my -2 for the sky becomes a little darker than it would have been, and that hopefully gives me more sky detail to recover, or whatever the bright thing is in the shot. While my +2, becomes a little darker as well, and that avoids blowing out any more highlights, or many more highlights than I would have blown out in the first shot in the first place. So hopefully that makes more sense. And that's why when I'm shooting an HDR, I'll tend to meter, if my foreground is fairly dark, sky is bright, there's usually a zone in between, like where you're looking through trees, and it's not as bright or as dark. That's usually where I meter. And that just tones all three shots down a little bit and gives you more shadow detail and highlight detail to work with. I think I said that right for a change. Okay, if you have any questions about that though, let me know. Onto the car. Starving. Okay. Now the rain is actually coming down a little heavier, but it's a nice sound. Let's listen to it. Well, I'm lunched. That was yummy. One of the things that I like about going back to Florida in the first place is that we don't have all the same restaurants and stuff that I was used to down there up in Richmond. And one thing I like about driving to Florida is that there's even more options. So I stopped at Schlotzsky's, which has always been one of my favorite places. And then we had them in Florida, and they actually all closed. So did Fazoli's. That's another chain that I like. Yeah, so we had to go to Gainesville, which was about an hour and a half from Orlando, to get Schlotzsky's. And then that one closed too. And there used to be one in Virginia Beach up here. So when we would come up to Virginia, we would go to that one. But then that kind of went independent and then shut down. So that was weird. But when I drive down, usually I stop at the Schlotzsky's in Florence, South Carolina, which I want to say is pretty close to the halfway point of the drive. But this time, since I stopped earlier to do the park, I headed to Fayetteville, North Carolina. So that was a new to me Schlotzsky's, but that was a nice one. The one in Florence is really not particularly nice. Apologies to the Florence Schlotzsky's people. But yeah, this one was nice. And it was yummy. I got the big original sandwich. I don't know why. I'm babbling because I'm just driving and talking. But yeah, okay. So my thought initially was that I would stop again in South Carolina probably to do another little hike, but I spent a lot longer. I was only going to stay at Raven Rock for like an hour and a half, and I was there for closer to 2.5, 3 hours. So yeah, that's cut into my timetable a little bit, and I don't want to get to Orlando too late. So probably I'm just gonna keep driving and just stop for gas and dinner. So we'll see if we see anything good on the way. So I won't close just yet, but that's probably the big adventure for today was Raven Rock, which was a good one. I enjoyed that park. Okay, on the road again. Lunch was super good. Dinner, not so much. McDonald's, nuggets, fries, dinner of champions. But I wanted to get something that I can munch while I drive. And here we are. I'm in Georgia. Yeah, I-95 through Georgia is only about 100 miles, 110. So it shouldn't be too long before I hit Florida. And then I got to get down to Orlando. And that's the plan. Okay, made it at last. That was a long drive. Okay, traffic wasn't bad. Didn't hit too much rain. Not too shabby. All right, so I'm gonna wrap it up with this video because this was travel day. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed that. Hopefully, I usually don't film on these trips, but hopefully I will manage to film some stuff. I want to do some birding while I'm down here, maybe some theme park stuff. So hopefully more Florida content will be coming. But until next time, be good to yourself. Take care of each other. Don't forget to be awesome. Get out and wander. Yeah, okay, later.